This is the coolest version of the Tremor, and why can't the Raptor have this? I'll include a link to the Young Ford and Ogden's website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get right into it. Under the hood is the 6.7 liter high output Power Stroke that goes through a 10 speed. It produces 500 horsepower, 1,200 pound-feet of torque. We are closing in on 500,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help me out with that. This one has the nice metallic white paint, so it's not like a bland work truck white. You got the giant headlights up front, and you can see the chrome for the Ford logo. And then the bumper is brown with the King Ranch package. The two-tone is it old man-ish, kind of, but I also like it. Tire and wheel setup is 285 by 75 by 18. You've got silver on the outside. It's blacked out in the center of the wheel, and it's pretty aggressive tires. The Tremor package does also come with a little bit of a lift and better suspension overall compared to a Super Duty for off-roading. King Ranch logo on the side. We've got the red 6.L badge to signify it's got the high output, and then you guys can see two-tone along the side here. We also have the bedside step, and then we've got chunky leaf springs in the back. This is a 350. Now with the Tremor package, you can only get it with a shorter bed, so crew cab with the 6.75 bed. When it comes to key fob features, we've got our lock and unlock function, remote start, tailgate drop down, Ford logo there on the back. LED lights in the bed. We also have an outlet. This one has the fifth wheel prep. No bed liner, but it's always easy to add after the fact. And then we do have a ruler here on the back of the tailgate, as well as the tailgate step system, and I believe this is power up with this version. Yeah, you better believe it. Rectangular taillights. You've got King Ranch plaque here in the back. We have the bumper steps down below, and that two-tone continues. That will cap things off for the exterior of this particular truck. This week's giveaway makes my Jeep look lame because it is a supercharged Rubicon 392 that is fully decked out, producing 650 horsepower. Now, not only can you win this Rubicon 392, but part of the giveaway is also $26,000 in cash to help pay for the taxes. And not only that, your donations go towards helping children's and veterans charities. So use code BHC or click the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. Any donation, $25 or more, will give you 4x bonus entries. Let's now check out the interior. And this is what the Raptor's missing out on, the King Ranch interior. I mean, this would be so cool in an F-150 Raptor. Look at the leather, the wood trim, and then the King Ranch seats perforated all down the center. It just looks and feels so much more high quality compared to what you get in most other Fords, even the Platinum. And then you got storage underneath. We have a flat load floor up front. Legroom in the back is good. We also have a storage pocket. We've got some cup holders, heated seats, USB ports, full outlet, and I like the accenting around that whole area. Keyless entry for up front, and let's check it out. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. The mirrors also power fold in and power extend out. This has 3 different memory seat functions. You got the mirror adjustments right here, window controls, speaker for the B&O sound system, and then again more of that nice leather trim on the door panel. I do quickly want to mention acoustic glass up front. Payload capacity on this truck is 3,885 pounds. King Ranch logo there on the seat, perforated all down the center portion. We do have our power adjustments here on the side with the lumbar support. To the left of the steering wheel, we've got all of our light controls, pedal adjustment, and then more of that nice trimmer on the vents. You know what? Don't mind if I do while I'm doing the rest of the review. That's nice. So we've got really rugged leather trim all around the steering wheel, King Ranch logo there at the bottom. Practical controls in the front face, including for the adaptive cruise control, volume controls, controls for the center stack in general. We've got a column shifter with this too. Digital gauge cluster in the center, which means it's customizable in terms of the information that's displayed. And that's kind of like the modern thing. And then it'll also display the drive modes when you flick the little dial. Last but not least on this part, we have a heads-up display. 360 camera system with this truck. It's got good resolution. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, shortcut bar there at the bottom. You've got the auxiliary tab here as well. It's pretty quick to respond. And you guys already saw a massage function, which is nice. Above the screen, it's gonna be hard with the lighting, but diesel exhaust brake, hill descent control, and then beside the screen, we've got our trailer backup. Below, we've got trailer brake controls. This has a part-time four-wheel drive system with a 2-speed transfer case. It also has trail turn assist and a rear locking differential. We've got all of our controls for the radio, shortcut for the camera, dual zone climate, heated ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, phone charging pad, some USB ports. Got more storage here, more of that nice King Ranch trim on top. USB ports inside. It's a giant center console. And then look at this. King Ranch logos there across the glove box. Got more nice trim on the dash too. 6 auxiliary switches, power sliding rear window by the way with that little function. And this has a panoramic centers too. It's only 103,370 bucks. Now we won't be driving this particular truck. I'll just include driving impressions of a Tremor. They all drive the same. This just has the different interior with the King Ranch. And so with that being said, let's see how the Tremor performs. Let's set off in the Platinum Tremor. This is a big boy truck. I mean, it's obviously a massive vehicle, but also it's just, man, I don't want to know what the payments are. And I know I'm instantly going to get comments of people saying, Ben, your Jeep. Ben, that fancy Lexus Land Cruiser you just bought. And yes, I understand. But they're under the business and they're not financed, so it's different. There's a big difference between getting something for a business, and some people do buy these for business use, by the way. But yeah, there's a big difference between that and someone buying something for completely personal use and financing it under their salary and all that kind of stuff. That's just, yes, it's a completely different world. Write-off versus no write-off, and interest versus no interest and everything. It's yeah. I mean, you just take a vehicle, like, here's the thing is people think business owners are loaded. If you take this vehicle $100,000 and let's say that so with the new write-offs, you can write off all of the vehicle in the first year, so you write off $100,000, and let's say between state and federal taxes and everything, you're probably, like, if you're running a business and you're buying a truck like this, you probably on $100,000 would pay $30,000 to $40,000 in taxes. So effectively you're buying the truck for $70,000 to $60,000. And then you also, if you, again, depending on how many miles you put on it for business, then you talk about writing off the diesel and this and that, and next thing you know, you're still spending money, but you're spending a lot less than if someone bought one of these and bought it with their regular salary. Where's all this traffic coming from? The seats are comfortable while we're sitting here. They are definitely comfortable. Ford does a really good job with their seats, especially in the Platinum. The Max Recline seats, it kind of sits a little bit funny on the back. It's not horrible, but it is something to get used to. Now, when it comes to ride quality, I love how this drives. It's quite excellent. It's very smooth. And Ford, compared to everyone else with their HDs, is by far the most comfortable in terms of going over bumps. And it's weird because Chevy should be more comfortable in theory with the independent front suspension, and it kind of turns in a little bit better. But overall, like ride quality over the bumps and everything, I think Ford's just better. Now, this is no luxury car by any means. It's still a heavy-duty vehicle with solid axles. But yeah, it doesn't ride bad at all. And you don't concede payload. That's the thing that's interesting about Ford, is Ford typically will have at least matching or sometimes higher payload than the competition with a lot of their vehicles, with their trucks, and yet you don't have a bad ride. It goes to show you that if you spend some time with engineering good suspension, you can make it so that's capable and comfortable. But yeah, you're still gonna get bumping around. It's still solid axle, so you're still gonna get the body lean side to side when you go over a bump and stuff. It's just par for the course. And I'll tell you the truth, you know, you get used, not only do you get used to it, I actually kind of prefer it, because independent suspension, people talk about how that's more comfortable. And it's partially more comfortable in the sense of, yeah, you have the suspension soak up things independently in each corner, which is nice, but solid axles also disperse the impact across the axle, so one side of the vehicle doesn't get hit extra hard. So it actually kind of, once you get used to the bobbing side to side when you go over dips and everything, I don't know, it feels better. I honestly prefer solid, like, all around. I've driven every single type of vehicle. I've owned every single type of vehicle in terms of suspension. You know, independent front and rear, solid front rear, independent front, solid rear. There's nothing that's solid front, independent rear. I don't think there'd be any reason. That'd be so stupid. But I've owned all of them, and I actually prefer solid front rear the most. And the durability is also better, and that's important with a truck like this, right? Whether you're doing off-roading or towing or both, having solid axles is going to be infinitely more durable than independent suspension. It's just how it works. So, in conclusion, the Tremor Platinum, well, here's what I'll say about this truck. It's a very nice truck, but also the dealership has like 10 of these. And I've kind of been saying this, that high-end vehicles are the market for high-end vehicles, especially high-end trucks, it's kind of dying because people just can't afford them. Like, there's only so many people that, first off, can afford a $100,000 truck. And then you have to take into account the people that want to buy said $100,000 truck. And once you pull that together, it's not that many people. And I think that's only going to shrink as time goes on because, you know, although there's been some wage growth, it just seems like there's fewer jobs to be had that can actually make the wages, right? So we'll see what happens long term. But I think it's a cool truck, but I think that the best thing that Ford could do for the Super Duty is to make, and I know they have the XL off-road package that's kind of a Super Duty, like basic Tremor, but what they need to do is we need to have like an actual base model, like call it the Tremor. It's just the base Tremor, and it gives you the off-road stuff in the XL, has the Tremor decal. Ford needs to do that. That would help out the Super Duty lineup quite a bit.